You are listening to Part 3A of the podcast series, 21 Qualities of a Leader.
The third quality of a leader is commitment. In fact, I have found and discovered that commitment separates the doers from the dreamers. A lot of people have dreams. A lot of people talk to you about what they're going to do and what they're going to accomplish. But if you really want to know what separates the dreamer from the doer, it is always commitment. And Schiller was exactly right when he said, "He who has done his best for his own time has lived for all times." When I was working on this lesson, I wrote this down in my notes. It's not in yours, but let me just read it to you for a moment. I know a person with less talent than another, but he will be more successful. I know a person with fewer opportunities than another, but she will be more successful. I know a person with less education than another, but he will be more successful. I know a person with worse health than another, but she will be more successful. The secret? Commitment. Commitment gives the leader the edge every time. So, when is our commitment tested? As a leader, when are we going to be tested in this area? Number one, when something takes longer than anticipated. Isn't that true? How many of you ever had a project you thought, I think in about a week I'll knock this out, and in a week you were knocked out? Huh? You know what I'm saying? Is oh man, this is, ooh. Our commitment's always tested when it's going to take longer than anticipated. Secondly, our commitment is tested when something is more difficult than anticipated. When we think, I don't think this will be too hard, and we get into it and say, this is very hard. You see, to the boxer, it's getting off the mat one time more than you've been knocked down. To the marathoner, it's running another 10 miles when your strength is gone. And to the soldier, it's going over the hill, not knowing what's waiting on the other side. To the social worker, it's saying goodbye to your own comfort to make life better for others. To the leader, it's all that and more because everyone you lead is depending upon you. In your notes, I have something that's very special to me. It's called committed. And I'm going to read it to you in a second, but let me give you the background before I read this to you. As a young leader, still in my 30s, in fact, as I look back, I just became 30 at this time. I went into my first multi-million-dollar building project, and I'd never built anything this size. I really didn't know how to build anything this size. I had some good people around me, and obviously I was going to have to use them to help me to build something. But I was scared. I was nervous. I was over my head. I was way out of my comfort zone. But I knew we had to have this building to house all the people that were coming, and so we launched into it, of which, because I had a lack of experience, I thought that the building would take a long time, but I didn't realize how long it would take. I thought it would be expensive, but I didn't realize how expensive it would become. I thought it would be difficult, but I didn't have any clue it would be this difficult. In other words, I was nervous on the front end, but if I'd had any clue how bad it was going to be, I could have had a nervous breakdown. I should have been a lot more nervous. Setbacks came. I remember the man who was to watch our payments had very carelessly paid somebody that literally went bankrupt, and I still remember the day I realized we were going to have to pay $120,000 twice for the same work. And I remember all these things, and the temptation, it was awful. I began to feel this thing of, oh man, I don't want to hang with this, and I got very tired, and I came across this great statement by Murray that I laminated this card, and for 18 months, every morning I read this. And I carried it with me every day. Sometimes I read it a half a dozen times. When bad news would come throughout the day, I just pulled out the card and say, read it again, John. Here's what he said. The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issue from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material decisions which no man could have ever dreamed would come his way the day we make a commitment. In other words, nothing's going to happen that's going to be good to you until you pass that commitment barrier.